Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Breizh Algae Tour 2014. We're very happy to welcome you here to Nantes for this third edition. You know that we are going to speak about algae and nutrition, and for Hervé, this is a new approach to health. Now, this BAT tour must satisfy a number of requirements. We want to fill you in and bring you up to date on the scientific advances made and the impact of algae on the entire nutritional chain. Everyone here knows Hervé, of course, President Chairman of the Olmix Group, but you're also chair of Breizh Algae. This is a new organization which has been set up. And today we're going to talk, this morning we'll speak about science, and this afternoon we'll talk about the products which have been developed, the innovation which has taken place, and we'll talk about health care, human care, and plant care, animal care, I'm sorry. And why did you choose this theme this year in particular? Well, you know we've been working on questions of health for years. But for Breizh Algae Tour, and more specifically, this is a step, in fact, a phase we've reached with respect to molecular extraction. And we've set up a new project leading absolutely over the entire process up to approval for commercialization of these products. And the Breizh Algae Tour, in fact, the idea was to provide understanding, knowledge, enable people to really understand. You know that the stakes for the future, as you've said again and again on TV, in symposia, in conferences, the challenge is going to be to feed 9 billion human beings in the near future, but while respecting the fragile balance and equilibrium of our ecosystems. We have someone here from the Ivory Coast, in fact, who could explain this even more clearly to us. 20, 30 years is of the very near future, and having to feed 9 billion human beings is a challenge which is before us as of now. Now, we've always found solutions in the past. Humans have always managed to find solutions to progress, and I think that we have to be amongst those who are working and endeavoring to find the solutions for tomorrow. What we are proposing is not the solution, but one of many solutions. Well, okay, it's an economic challenge as well. Algae is the source for tomorrow, for the future in biotech. Yes, I've been working to this end for 20 years now, and we're finally getting there. And I think there will be a world scale and scope for the development of algae and the use of algae. It is truly the new blue gold. This is the marine and maritime economy at work, and it is the solution of a solution for the future. Now, going beyond the French borders, you have, I think in late June or early July, you went to New York. Was that the case? You were invited by the French Biotech Association, and we'll hear a bit more about that in a moment. You went to speak to American investors, and what was their way of looking at this little Frenchman coming to sell them this? Well, we certainly thank France Biotech for inviting me to speak. And you can say when Bill Gates and Zuckerberg, in fact, were there to leverage $1 million for their investment funds. Now, we did not do that, but it was certainly a moving experience to be on the same stage as they had been, where they had been in the past. And everyone realized there, I think, that this subject is very, very topical. And you must say Americans are Americans. They're pragmatic by nature. And when you know in 1970, Bernard Cloirec and a number of other people were trying to understand. I made a joke and I said even centuries before that, while we were making progress in research on algae, you were still chasing buffalo, well, or bisons. They didn't think that was very funny, but I wanted to make the point that we've been working for decades on this subject here in France. Well, here too, in the area of Brittany, in the region of Brittany, your algal resources are significant as well, right? Well, yes, and we do have a value chain which exists and, in fact, is ready to grow even more. Well, the French Biotech Association, or France Biotech Association, is, in fact, you're on their board. You're a director of France Biotech, and I think there are some 30 members of the board, all French, and in fact, this covers the entire future of biotechnology in France. I think this is a sign of an honor for you, of course, and it shows how far you've come with algae. Well, it's because I understand how important algae are. And this is a topic which will be dealt with, and we will talk more about it too. Transbiotech as well, I'd like you to welcome Costa, who's with us. And I'd also like to welcome Jean-Pierre Leroc, who is a member of parliament representing the Morbihan, French parliament for the Morbihan area. He'll say a word or two as well. Now, Aude, first of all, let's begin. Oh, but no, it's Mr. Leroc who's going to speak first. Jean-Pierre Leroc, who is an MP, congressman, if your references are American, for the Morbihan region, and therefore well familiar with this field of work. Now, what about policymakers and decision makers in the French state who are going to support this? Well, hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here, and I want to say hello to Hervé. I have, in fact, followed his work over the past 17 years. At the time, I was the mayor of the town of Pontivy, and when I discovered what Olmix was doing, I felt his enthusiasm, his creativity was such that he was worthwhile supporting that company, and I put him in contact with Jean-Yves Le Drian, who was a congressman at the time and who is now Minister of Defense. And in fact, they have created a strain library, and they have excellent teams. They do excellent work, both in terms of innovation and in terms of developing our global reach. 43 delegations are present, representing 43 countries. So, yes, so we're represented on every continent now. You said the challenge is by 2050 to feed 9 billion humans, and this is certainly the stake, and find nutritional, healthful work and be able to produce both the quantities required and the quality required worldwide. This is one of the objectives, in fact, and I'm very interested in the work done by the Ministry of Agriculture in France for this. Stéphane Le Foll, our minister, has set a target, an objective through a law which was enacted, voted into law last Thursday. So the double challenge, agricultural and environmental. This is the challenge before us, and companies like Olmix are going to be the solution for the future for this, and we're going to perhaps be able to replace antibiotics and fungicides, and I certainly reassure you, Hervé, we are with you, we're behind you, and we are very attentive to trends and developments, and we will always be ready to support you for your developments in France and abroad. Yes, thank you very much. Now, Aude from France Biotech, as I said, Hervé is now a director on the board, and this is certainly a sign of recognition for him. And now, why was that choice made? Well, first of all, let me tell you a bit about France Biotech. It's an association of entrepreneurs or companies in France working in life sciences, and France Biotech was founded by these entrepreneurs and these investors 17 years ago. And today we've reached a phase of maturity in France, and we were able to provide support and help develop this value chain to have a fiscal, a tax and legislative context which is favorable in France. We're promoting this, and it's a long path, in fact. Research takes a long time as well. And today, our main mission is to find lasting and viable solutions for the biotech value chain in France. And we are so happy to have Olmix joining us. Hervé, you were elected by your peers. They recognized you as an entrepreneur who is convinced of his with his project and knows how to convince other people. Yes, he certainly does. And biotech, of course, covers a vast range of subjects and domains, and we're very happy to have Hervé with us. Thank you,